No. So once all the participants have joined, we will start the quiz. And then it's 43 questions, which is going to be what we've covered last week, plus some new things which I may not have covered. But the point is that through the quiz, I will be explaining some of the laws that are also beneficial for us to know about. So I've started the quiz, I've launched it. Once you've got enough people on, then I'll start the quiz. मैंने Zoom पे लॉगिन नहीं किया, जरूरत नहीं आज. No one has joined yet. What's up? Oh, shameless. You know, 3 months before which we had. But I've launched. Should I go on Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi password here? Which one is it? 5G? 101. Oh. Okay. I see people joining. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 here. And Zoom पे कितने? We should have 19 people on the quiz. So 17 people. Okay. So if I can ask everyone to please join the quiz. Those on Zoom as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on the quiz only. Come on. Now it's 11. You joined? Which name? Rehab. Huh? Rehab. Okay. Jerry has joined? Have you joined? Kai. I only see Zaviab, I don't see Jerry. What's that? नहीं वो इसमें है ना. What is 2, 8? Yes. Huh? I don't. ये बंद कर. स्क्रीन बंद कर. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 people. Who's left? Is everyone in the room joining? Ali Mehdi is still joining. Yes. There is joining? Okay. All right. 5 seconds. Who else joined now? Ali Mehdi has joined. Jerry has still not joined. Zain is not joining today? Okay, I'm going to start at 25. What's the actual? It's 22 past 9, right? I'll start at 25 past 9. Oh no. Oh. Does anyone have a charge? What charger is being used for this laptop? Yes. Oh. Huh? Okay. This doesn't fit. My battery's gonna die. But anyways, we can still do Slido. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Everyone's joined? All right, we're gonna start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. 6 votes. What's happening? Okay, so prayer is the best act of worship, right? Because we have a hadith from the Prophet where he says that as-salatu umududdin, that prayer is the pillar of religion. If that is accepted, then everything else is accepted. And if that is not accepted, then none of the other acts are accepted. So your fasting, your zakat, and your hajj are dependent on your prayers. So prayers is the best form of worship. Please read the question carefully. Read the question carefully. Five daily prayers. And daily prayers are one of the 6 obligatory prayers. There are 6 obligatory prayers. What are those? The 5 daily prayers. What else? The prayer of the tawaf. That's obligatory. Number 3. Salatul Mayyat. Right? Then which one? Salatul Ayat. Salatul Ayat. Number 5. Qada prayers. And number 6. Yes, any vow, or if there's a contract that has been agreed. So that's why I said read the question carefully. Tawaf. Right? So Friday prayer is one of the daily prayers. So either you pray the Friday prayer or the Zohar prayer, it counts as one of the daily prayers. Iraka. Ground. So prayers that are 2 rakah like Fajr and Maghrib that are 3 remain as they are, but 4 rakah salat becomes 2 rakah in the time of traveling, not 3 rakahs. Okay. So the time of Zohar starts from the time of Zawal. Now question, how do you determine what is the time where the sun has reached its peak height? Yes. You can't see your shadow, right? So as soon as you start seeing a shadow, that means Zawal has started. Okay, it's not from sunrise to midday and not from morning to noon. Please read the question carefully. So there's a difference between intentionally and by mistake. So amdan and sahwan. Sahwan means that you do something forgetfully by mistake. If you by mistake pray asr and then after asr you by mistake you realize that I prayed asr before zohar, your asr is valid and then you can pray zohar. But if you intentionally pray asr after zohar, you are not keeping the right concept, the right tartib. Therefore, your asr prayer is not valid if you intentionally do it. But if you by mistake you prayed asr and you realize that, oh, I did not pray asr, zohar, you can then pray your Zohar namaz. So if in the middle of the prayer you realize you were praying Asr and you realize that I should have prayed Zohar, you can change you have to change the intention to Zohar, and then you continue praying the Zohar, then it finishes and then you pray Asr. You cannot continue praying Asr if you realize in the middle of the prayer. Next question. So how do you decide when the Maghrib time has started? It's when you look at the sky. So let's say I'm standing like you guys are standing, right? Which one is, this is west, this is east. The sun rises from the east and sets in the west. But when the sun sets in the west, in the sky, you will see some redness at times, right? When that redness has passed overhead and now it's on this side, your Maghrib time starts. But if there's still some redness on your east side, you cannot start your Maghrib prayer. So it has to pass overhead for your Maghrib to start. And then why is this important? Because you will find yourself sometimes in a city and you've got buildings all around you. You cannot physically the sun setting, right? So how do you determine that Maghrib has started? It's based on this redness in the sky. Most of the times we can't actually see the sun setting because we're not on a plain, flat surface that you see the sun setting. There's mountains, there might be buildings or houses, obstructions. So how do you know that the sun has actually set? It is based on this principle. It's on the redness of the sky. Okay, next one. So if you pray amdan, if you pray intentionally your Isha prayer before your Maghrib prayer, then that prayer itself is invalid. Yep. Because it says it should be and doesn't say it must be. There's a difference between it must be and it should be. If it had said it must be, then I would have said that it's an ambiguous two options, and I would have said both of them are right. But it should be means that you have an option and it's better or not better. So in fiqh, it's very important to know when a command is to do and when something should be done and should not be done versus must be done, must not be done. Next question. So just like Zohar and Asr situation, if it's by mistake, then your Isha is fine, and then after that you can pray your Maghrib namaz. Why would Maghrib be skipped? Okay. Number 11. Guys, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. If you enter the fourth rakah, and even if it was by mistake, then you cannot change your intention because You can't get Maghrib is 3 rakah, it's already finished. But now you can't say that, oh, I've prayed my Maghrib. You must continue with the Isha. But if it's before the 4th rakah, as long as you haven't reached it, you can change your intention and then you finish the 3rd rakah and your Maghrib, and you can consider it to be a Maghrib, and it's fine. So remember, if you have Maghrib has started and you intentionally delay your prayers until midnight, right? That means that your Salat of Maghrib and Isha, you can still pray until dawn, but you cannot use the intention of Ada or Qada, right? You just say, मैं Maghrib पढ़ता हूँ 3 रकात कुर्बतन इल्लल्लाह. I don't say मैं Maghrib की अदा करता हूँ या Maghrib की qada करता हूँ. You cannot say ada or qada in your niyyah or consider in your niyyah ada or qada. You just do it with the intention of qurbatan ilallah. That's it. If it's after midnight to dawn, provided that you intentionally delay it. But if you don't intentionally delay it, and there are certain situations where, let's say, you fell asleep, or for women, they're in a period where they are not able to do it, then you can still pray after Maghrib, after midnight, until dawn with Ada. But if you intentionally delay it, then you cannot use Ada or Qada. So let's say that midnight is 11:30. I was lazy, I kept delaying, now it's 11:35. Now when I pray my Maghrib and Isha, I cannot do Ada or Qada intention. I just do Qurbatan ilallah. I just pray. What's astronomical twilight? I know you know. I want to ask that because you said it. What's astronomical twilight? Between what and what degrees? Between 12 and 18 degrees. Yes. Yeah. So between 12 and 18 is astronomical. Then between 12 and 6 is your nautical. Next question. Okay. Remember, there are certain prayers for which you don't need to have wudu, like Salatul Mayyat. You don't need to have wudu, right? So, what is that one thing that you need to have before the time of a prescribed prayer for its prescribed time starts? You need to have yaqeen that the time of the prayer has set in. You have to have yaqeen. Yeah. Which one did you choose? Yeah, but you don't need complete ablution for certain namaz, but you do require something for a salat that's required. What's that thing? According to law, your complete ablution is not something that is one must attain. You must perform ablution, but what must you attain to perform salat? I'll give you 0.5 for that. Okay, please put it against you when we look at the leaderboard. Maybe you might be leading, you don't know, you didn't need it. Next question. It could be. No, that's the question is that what happens if someone realizes during the prayer that the time for prayer has not yet. What happens to that prayer that you're praying? Yeah, it's invalid. Read the options carefully. So now you're praying, right? And you're praying, and during the prayer, the time sets in. Then your prayer is fine. You prayed, so Zohar starts at 11:55, right? As an example. You start praying at 11:54. You get to the second rakah, and 11:55 starts, and now the time is set in. So your Zohar Salat in its entirety is valid. Yeah. So like, would it still count? If the time has set in during the prayer, then yes, even if you start willingly. Sorry, apologies. It's by mistake. If by mistake you started. But I would be because you have a doubt about whether the time is set in. You need to have yaqeen. Yes. Next question. So there's certain actions that are mustahab, like kunut is a mustahab act, right? Now there's not enough time for you to finish the prayer if you do kunut as well, but you need to finish the prayer so you can skip doing those recommended actions. Inshallah, when we get to the actual arkan of salat, we will look at what are the actual arkan, i.e. the actual pillars, and which ones are not the actual pillars or they are mustahab. So you start the prayer, right? And let's say you start Asr at Maghrib is around 6 o'clock, and you start your Asr prayer at 5:59. As long as you do one rakah of Asr prayer, and now Maghrib time has started, you can continue. You can consider the Asr prayer to be full. Next question. Next question. Right. There's a narration from the Prophet and from Imam Sadiq where they say that La yanalu shafa'atuna man istakhafa bis salat, that our intercession will not reach those who treat their prayers lightly. And one of the ways of treating your prayers lightly is not praying it on the prescribed time and delaying it intentionally. Yeah, it's possible. There's ambiguity here. Yeah. If you said C, I would give you. I would give you as well. You got C? Please make a note of these questions where you have got these. Yeah, make a list. All right, next question. 22. Question 22. Make a note of it. It's gone. Next question. Okay, I'm starting. I'm going to tell you guys when I'm starting the next question, so you guys have full 20 seconds. Okay, starting now. This is a repeated question. No one should get this wrong. Okay, I'm starting the next question. But you can do the opposite. You can do the opposite. So suppose that I start my Adha prayer and I know I've got enough time for the Adha prayer to do for the rest of the day, and I realize that, oh, I've got a Qadha prayer to do, I can change the intention. But I cannot change an intention when I'm doing a Qadha prayer and say, oh, I'm going to make it an Adha prayer. You cannot do that. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what the rule is. Yes, you can. You can. Yeah. But only if you haven't reached the third ruku of Zohar. Next question coming up. That's why I've given this question 30 seconds. Count. Okay, let's start. Fajr, how many? Okay. Plus Zohar, how many? Asar? Nafal. Nafal. Yes. This is only Nafal. Remember the question about Nafal. Asar? Maghrib? Isha? Yeah, it is. How many? Divided into three. Which ones are those? Salatul Layl itself is only how many? Salatul Layl is how many? But there are different salat. They're all part of it, but Salatul Layl by itself is 8. That's what you call the Nafla of Layl. Right? Nafla of Layl. Plus how many of Shaf? Shaf. Salatul Shaf. It's called Shaf. 2, right? Watra. It's Watr, guys, remember. It's W-A-T-R. Right? How many is that? 10, 12, sorry, 16, 18, 22, 26, 30, no, what am I doing? 10, 18, 22, 24, 34. No, man. It's 34. No, man. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that's because, remember, Isha is only 1. You pray as 2 when you're sitting down, right? But it's actually counted as 1 unit. So that gives you 34. Remember, in Nafila prayers, you have the permission to pray seated. But if you pray seated, you have to pray double. So if I want to pray 2 rakah of subh as my nafla, you have to pray normal as standing, that's your 2 rakah. But if I want to sit standing, if I want to sit down, you have to pray 4 rakah. So that's why for Isha, you are asked to pray sitting. Obligatory precaution is that Isha should be prayed sitting, but it is counted as 1 unit. Yes. Okay, let's do it. Let's do this again. Fajr? No, I'm not going to do this again. I think that there's a question. No, because I think I have questions, so I'm not going to give the answer. Okay, so Zohar and Asr both are, what did I say? Asr is before. Oh, crap. Give you guys the answer for the next one. Next question. And note it down. Note it down. I'll think about it. Yeah, it's possible that because if you prayed your Zohar, then you have to pray your Nafla. Before. Fajr is before. Zohar is before, Asr is before, Fajr is before. I gave this answer when I was doing this count here. Read the question carefully. Nafla of the Salatul Layl. Nafla of the Salatul Layl. Right? Next one. Okay, so remember, even for Nafla prayers, there's a specific time that you're supposed to pray. What does that mean? So let's say that Fajr prayer we know starts from the time of astronomical twilight, right? Okay. Astro world. So from that, So from that time onwards, your Fajr prayer starts. Now you have to pray the Nafila before Fajr. But you cannot delay the Nafila of the prayer until you start seeing the east. On the now, remember sunset. We were saying that the redness has passed overhead, but now we're looking at in the morning. In the morning, right? The sun hasn't risen, but the Fajr prayer has started. But yet you still see that there's still no redness in the sky. It's just whiteness, right? As soon as you start seeing some redness come up, that means that you should not pray Nafla anymore. You have to pray Fajr, Wajib prayers. And the same thing happens with Zohar and Asr. So Zawal starts, Zohar time has started. Now you have to pray Nafla. But now you're standing here and the length of your shadow, right? Suppose your shadow, when it's at full peak, is 7 meters, for example, right? As soon as your shadow gets to 2/7 of that length, your time for Nafla has finished. Now you must pray Zohar Wajib. Same thing with Asr prayer. When the Asr time, your shadow becomes 4/7, you can't pray Asr's Nafla as well. So even for Asr and Zohar Nafla, there are specific times that you're supposed to pray them. You cannot say that I'm going to pray Nafla at 3 p.m. There's a specific time for it. Next one. Jurisprudentially speaking, the Qibla is the place of the Kaaba. Yes, it is in Makkah, and you may say that as long as I'm facing. Yeah, that's fine. That's towards Makkah and towards Qibla. But let's say that now you are actually very close to the city of Makkah, right? You could be facing any area of Makkah because all of this is Makkah. I'm like a kilometer away from Makkah. So just because I'm facing Makkah doesn't mean I'm facing the Kaaba or the Qibla. It has to be the place where the Qibla is in Makkah. Because these rulings are for everyone. They're not just for people who live thousands of kilometers away. That's why it's important to know that the Qibla is the place of the Kaaba, not where the city of Makkah is. There is leniency in your face, turning a little bit away from Qibla. Even sometimes when you're standing, listen guys, even when you're standing, your feet can also be, you'll find some people's feet are a little bit like this, but your chest and your body has to be facing the Qibla. Yeah. Next one. First thing, if you're able, can't lie on your right and you can't lie on your left, then what do you do? Okay, next time I'll make it 30 seconds. Yes. If you can't lie on your left or right and you can only lie flat, then you must place your feet towards the Qibla. Next question. So when it comes to nafila prayers, there is no requirement for you to pray while standing still or even facing the qibla. You can pray nafila prayers even if you're walking. Yeah. Anywhere you're walking, you're doing a Zohar nafila of 8 rakah, you can just do. So I'll tell you a story, right? So during the time of, guys, listen. This is interesting. This is interesting. During the time of Allama Tabatabai, some of his students used to always wait for him to ask him questions. But he was always very much busy and he was always to and fro from his house to the mosque or from the house to the hausa. So at times when he would be walking, people would try to stop him and they would see that he's reciting something. And they would say that, Maulana, what are you reciting? And you'd say that I'm doing my nafila prayers. Why am I saying this? Is because these scholars were so particular about their time. You know, when we talk about time management, we don't realize that we have to be very particular about the time and how we spend it. And when you reach that level of that taqwa where you spend each and every minute, you don't want to waste it. So even if you're doing nothing, you have the leniency to just pray your nafla. You're sitting in your car, you can pray your nafla. You're walking, you're riding, you're not facing, you can pray your nafla namaz. Only wajib namaz you can't, yes. Yes, you still need to pray this. Next question. 6 more left. A strong guess is not enough, and a testimony from anyone is not enough for you to find out the direction of the Qibla. It has to be, first and foremost, it has to be yaqeen. Next question. So at times where you don't have the instrument, you don't have a phone, you don't have anything, you're in a random city, in a random Muslim city. What do you do to find out the Qibla? Right? You go to the mosque, you look at where the mihrab is, and you find and you say that's the Qibla. Sometimes you can even go to the graveyard, and the graveyard will also tell you where the Qibla is. Anyone know how? Yeah, so you will see how the graves are like down, and you know that in a grave, if the grave is like this, if this is the grave, you know that the Qibla is on the this side because the body has to be lying on the right side. So they're lying this way, facing that way. So that's another way to find out what the Qibla is. Next question. Okay, ignore option B. That's I don't know why I put that. Tissue. Hey, tissue. Aslan. Yes. Let's go. Okay. If you cannot find out the direction, you pray in the one that you think is Qibla. But I don't know if that's in the next. Okay, maybe it's the next question. Yeah. So if there's enough time and you don't know where the direction is, it is recommended precaution that you pray in all 4 areas. All north, south, east, west. Yeah. Well, you know, that's north, that's south, that's east, that's west, or that's north. Point is, there's 4 directions. Just pray in 4 directions. Yeah. Whichever way I'm standing, I say that's north. So that means east, west, and south. It doesn't matter. Point is, there's 4 directions. Next question. There's 2 left only. Najaf. Oh. So there's certainty. You know it's either here or it's there. Yeah. So you have to pray in both. You cannot decide which one. Last one. Supposition meaning they get this level of itminan. Right? 2 people come to you and they say that we saw. But if they say that we also heard from someone, then you cannot take it. They have to have seen it. All right. Are we ready? Wait. That's what if Kabir's got like it's like nothing. Let's see. We'll see. Guys, point is to learn. Why 1.5? 0.5. Which was the other one? Yeah, so that's 0.5. Why 1? Did you also get it? Which option did you choose? Oh, is it? Right. Are we ready, guys? Everyone's ready? Woo! Here we go. Yep. So you get 1 extra, right? It's okay. Which one did you choose? I choose this one, right? Yes. Okay. And then? I said office open. Oh, yeah. Yes, brothers. Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.